This has been Reverend Muzan Biggs' home since 1980, the historic Boston Avenue United Methodist Church, one of the cornerstones of downtown Tulsa. Biggs has preached every Sunday morning and evening and Wednesday nights here for the past 33 years. What does this church mean to you?
I love it. I came here sight unseen, and every year I've been here, it means more and more to me.
This coming June 2nd won't be just any Sunday. After thousands of sermons at Boston Avenue, Biggs is retiring. It'll be his final Sunday in the pulpit. Are you ready?
I won't know for sure till that first morning after it's over.
Muzan Biggs grew up in Texas and thought he'd follow his father's footsteps in the oil and gas industry, but instead answered the call from God and a request from the bishop to pastor 2 tiny churches at the age of 18.
I said, I haven't been to college yet. Well, you're the best we've got. So they sent me there. And I told them everything I knew the first Sunday in about 15 minutes.
Can you remember your first sermon when you were 18?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I don't remember what I said, Mark, but I remember how frightened I was.
2 decades later, 39-year-old Muzan Biggs preached his first sermon in one of the biggest churches in Tulsa. For more than 3 decades at Boston Avenue, he's followed the same routine, spending an entire week researching and writing his next sermon. To this day, still too nervous to eat breakfast Sunday mornings.
It is like writing a term paper every week, starting on Monday morning. But once it's ready, I'm anxious on Sunday morning, half nauseous. But once the organ begins to play and then the people sing and we get into the worship service, I love being a part of all of that.
For the past half a century, Biggs has had a view from the pulpit of the challenges churches face. The biggest challenge? He says today's generation of churchgoers aren't in church nearly as much as what he calls the hard-working, disciplined, no-whining World War II and Great Depression generation who made church a priority.
There was no question about will we go to church Sunday or not. It was just understood. Of course we will. The baby boomers, the Ys, the Xers, the millennials, they think that if they come once a month, they're active. If they come once every 6 or 8 weeks, they're active. The younger generations can be wonderful people, but the every Sunday aspect, that discipline that parents and grandparents had, I don't see.
He admits people have so many more choices on Sunday today. Stores are open, so are movie theaters. Kids and their parents are involved in sports. As he puts it, no one is taking care of the church's Sundays anymore.
It wouldn't bother me so much if my own people weren't giving into it, but they do give into it,
And the changing makeup of the family also bothers him. 50 years ago, when he started preaching, Biggs says an intact family unit was the norm. Today, the family is splintered.
With children, well, they're with the mother on the first and third weekends, and they're with the daddy the second and the fourth weekends or something. It's a much more difficult family environment, community environment than we've had before.
Biggs has also witnessed the rebirth of downtown and the difference the BOK Center and One Oak Field have made, as well as the new apartment complexes and restaurants.
Well, that's very exciting. Not only because my church is downtown, but I really believe a metropolitan area needs a healthy heart in its city.
So what will Muzan Biggs do now after more than 50 years in the pulpit, 33 of them in Tulsa?
I have a long list of things I'm not going to do, Mark,
He's going to lay low for a year without making any commitments. And that Sunday morning, the week after his final sermon, he'll finally be able to eat breakfast before heading off to church. And where will that be?
I plan to be here, seated down here somewhere, maybe up there in the balcony.